Hello, everybody. It's Dave Neal, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. In this video, we have an update on the Bachelorette Jason breakup with Kat Stickler, influencer, Instagrammer, TikToker, and she calls out some of the mom shamers out there that say, "Oh, how could you have let Jason meet your baby, your girl, and this and that." So we'll have that story. And speaking of children, I'm actually joined by my co-host today, the one, the only, the August, right there. He's joining me as it's a travel day, so my wife is packing, and you can't pack and hold a baby at the same time. Let me tell you something about that. They will not let that happen. So we'll have to see if he lets me make this video right now. I think so. I think we're in a good place. But of course, a second look right there for all those that get a little love out of seeing a perfect child. All right, so, and by perfect, I mean he can go through a lot of diapers. All right, so we have Kat addressing the mom shamers. Before we get into that, Jason also spoke. Jason Tartick says, "There's a lot going on in my personal life besides the Kat Stickler breakup." So I won't cover all of the things going on here. He does mention a family friend was diagnosed with cancer, which, what a bummer. So our positive energy and healing prayer thoughts go out to Jason and his family. He said, "There's a lot going on in my life. One thing I'm going to share that I will talk about in regards to something else that's come up in the last few days, actually, aside from, of course, Kat and I no longer being together." So then he mentions the very, very close family friend. But he also said this to his listeners. "I say all of that because life is just so precious. It is so fast. Before we even go into this episode, make a note. Call your mom, call your dad, call your loved ones, grandpa, grandma, brother, sister, whoever it might be. Tell them you love them. Find time to spend more time with them." When things like this happen, it puts in perspective, even a podcast like this, where we're talking about how we can be better, we can better ourselves financially, professionally, and personally. We can get caught in the rat race of life. This is such a reminder to slow down, to speed up. Go tell the people you love that you love them today. So yeah, 2 days before this podcast airs, he separated with Kat. And look, I agree. I was actually in Rhode Island for this trip, in part for a comedy festival that I partook in. Is that a word? Partake in. I'll have the link to that video on my Patreon, patreon.com/Dave Neal. But I was also here because we were celebrating the anniversary of my grandmother's passing. She would have been 90 years old yesterday. She actually died in her early 50s. She died 40 years ago, around then. And, life can come at you fast. So, to think I was only a baby when she passed, I was about my son's age. And what sort of legacy do we leave to our friends and family? That's worth so much more than what some crazy people think about us online, right? So anyhow, let's go into what Kat had to say. All right, so here's what she had to say. It's 1:47 long. And by the way, the lighting's fantastic. This is why you got to get one of those cars with the glass roof. She's an influencer. She's crushing it in the business world. But of course, pain is pain. And nobody crosses a mom who's trying to protect her daughter. Have a listen.
In light of current events, it has come to my attention that some of you are concerned with the fact that I introduced MK to the man I was dating, and that relationship is now no more. So I thought, you know what? Let's have a chat about it, because I think it's important. I think it needs to be discussed. Did my former boyfriend spend time with my daughter? Yes. Has my daughter met my male friends? Yes. Has my daughter met the husbands of my girlfriends? Also yes. 3 things. She's always with me when these males are introduced in her life, and they are always introduced as mommy's friends. She doesn't call anyone dad. She has a dad. That is never a point of confusion for her. And I promise you guys, she is okay. And also, let's be real, internet dating timeline is very different from real life dating timeline. I was in a relationship where we were heading down a serious route until we weren't, and that's okay. I just hope that MK knows I am looking to find the right partner for the both of us, because we are a package deal. And I know I don't always make the right decisions, but I learn from my mistakes. And every decision that I do make, it's because it's what I think is best for my daughter and I. Also, I'm 29 years old. I know, first thing you guys are gonna say, Kat, how in the heck are you 29?
I thought she was older.
Youthful angel. That's not what this is about. Also, no one's ever said that, but I know some people think that. A big part for someone who dates me is that they have to come into my world, and I know that's not easy. And I can't leave Florida. I can't. If someone comes to visit me, I can't just shove MK in the cupboard. Doesn't matter what you guys say, it's just not right. Imagine if we all listened to the judgments that other people had about our lives and based our life decisions on those judgments. I never want to live in fear of not doing what's right for me because of what other people are going to think. And I do understand that the majority of you guys are looking out for us, and I love that. Just be patient with me, because this is a lot. I know my child. I know that every single decision I make is with her best interest at the forefront of my mind, and I can live with that. So That's all.
I think about this. I've spoken so much about being raised by a single mom, then my mom remarried, and I think about how tough it was because, she worked in sales and she'd have to drive around town with a beeper, and then if we called the beeper, she'd have to pull over, and you just think how crazy life was being raised sort of lower middle class. Well, Kat, again, according to Google searches, is worth $10 million. She's only worth what she does to provide for her kids through performing online, oh, there he is so impressive that I'm not here to judge her if one of the pieces of collateral damage is that people know what her daughter's name is. Now, you might say, oh, it's so detrimental to her health, it's really tough and this and that. And that's like, look, I understand every decision comes with another decision, but it's also tough to leave your kids on a work trip, and it's tough when the parents don't work out for financial reasons and whatnot. So there's a lot that goes into a relationship's toxicity and what works or doesn't work with being a mom. The sad part is, what is really sad here is there's actually a snark page, which, every influencer has one of these, but it's really sad. There's a snark page for Kat, it's got a couple thousand people, and they literally just discuss why they don't like her. And again, that exists for everyone. So it's almost like, hey, Bubba, almost done. I'm going to sit you right there. He's going to play with the microphone. So it's almost, maybe you can only see what I'm working with. It's almost as if, look, this exists for influencers as a piece of collateral damage to the traffic that they get being on the show, but it doesn't mean we should be okay with it in this society. I've always said, God forbid someone wanted to create a snark page about me. I'm going to create a reality show where I hire an investigator to find out who everyone is. Not to dox them publicly. And I can blur out their faces and not expose them, but just to go, who are you people that treat others like this? Why are you hurting so much that you care so much about what might be going on in someone's life? It's when people criticize others, especially moms, when they mom shame, the guise is that they're there to help the kid. Oh, the kid deserves better. No, it's like, the kid's doing just fine. You know what I mean? Right, Augie? I think you're doing just fine. Right, Bubba? Huh? Yeah, you're doing okay. But I understand what the root is. The root cause is that everyone's in so much pain. There's so many issues with weight. There's so many people out there, especially those that are online, that aren't making as much as they want to, doing it. And I've been there too. I've been there just recently, minimum wage and not doing well. And I empathize with those people, but being angry at people online that have figured out a plan for success, especially influencers who, by the way, are really causing no harm to anybody because they're just existing. Those people are always wild to me, because when you spread that negative energy online, you're just receiving more negative energy. You're telling your brain to fire off snark in any direction, and you don't get rewarded for that. That's for sure. So with all that said, I'm proud of Kat, someone who I've only met through this Bachelor franchise, for speaking her truth and not going low. What I wanted to share also is and again, completely different story, but I only have time to make one video today. I wanted to share Jen Tran and what she had to say about what she's dancing to tonight. We've got Jen and we've got Kelsey and Joey, both going on Dancing with the Stars with a unique message. Here is Jen Tran. Have a listen.
Hi guys, I just wanted to come on here really quickly and talk about tomorrow's dance. I am dancing to The Archer by Taylor Swift, and I'm dedicating the week to Taylor Swift. I'm dedicating the dance to Taylor Swift because she truly has gotten me through so much. She was one of the first CDs I ever bought as a kid, and I grew up listening to her music, and it always transported me to a different place, a place of happiness and hope rather than a place that I was really living in, which was reality at the time, and it was really hard for me. This song, specifically The Archer, talks so much about insecurities, your flaws, feeling unlovable, feeling worthless, feeling like nobody's gonna stay in your life. There have been countless times in my life where I have felt like that, where you feel like you are at rock bottom. I've been through a lot of depression and anxiety, and I've quite honestly felt like there were times in my life where I didn't think that I would still be here today. And once you feel emotions like that are so deep and dark and twisted and so isolating, it almost leaves a scar on you. So the song really transports me back to those moments that I have in my life and still do and still have to overcome. We are all a work in progress, and when we feel those dark emotions, it can be really hard to get out of that place.
So there she is. She goes on to say, you know, we all have scar tissue from our past, depression, anxiety, fear, and hey, I think that's great. Good on her. I'm excited to see what she has to show. In other Dancing with the Stars news, we actually have Kelsey discussing who she's going to dance to. Have a listen to this.
Dedicating your dance to Kelsey this week. I hope she knows that I'm not ruining a surprise. What? How does that feel to have that dedication? So sweet.
It's very special. Honestly, I love all his dances, but this one's definitely going to be extra special for me.
Oh my gosh. And you know, I'm curious because Jenna has been so supportive throughout this journey, and I know she's wanted to make you feel comfortable. In what ways has she done that for you? Did you guys have prior conversations? How's that relationship?
Yeah, I mean, before all of this, before he was even announced that he was being on Dancing with the Stars, we had a private dinner with Jenna and Val, and just her like opening up, being like, if you have any questions, like we just want you to feel really comfortable. She was like, I know that you're not, you know, at all the practices and like fully involved, but she's like, we want you to feel involved. So her support, I mean, we have a group message, her, Joey, and I send them TikTok ideas, but she's an amazing person. She's a great woman. Yeah.
I know.
All right, there it is, folks. I've got a baby who's no longer interested in podcasting with me right now, so we're going to call it an episode. I've got to go catch a flight, and we'll be back for the afternoon rush hour, and I'll have all of the Dancing with the Stars updates on that episode. All right, you ready to go back and see Mommy? All right, we'll go get him fed. All right, have a good one, everybody. We'll talk to you later. It's over now. It's over now.